In this lesson, we'll start the process of editing our bind deformations. I do want to quickly note that because of us combining all of the loose accessories together to form one mesh with this character, it's going to make it very convenient for us and very efficient for us to edit our deformations. We'll be able to grab, let's say, the vertices of one section of our character, grow selection on it, and just select only its vertices rather than having it go through and select even vertices that we may not want selected on other parts of our character. So that's a benefit of just combining everything for your game characters. Alright, so getting right into it, we're going to start with the chest plate. We'll hit F8, make sure we're in, we can select our vertices, and we'll select a few for the primary chest plate here. We can go into wireframe, hold shift, and just continue to hit the greater than button so we can grab only the vertices that make up this outer chest plate. And you can see the benefits of just combining. Okay, it'll stop once it has reached all of the vertices that make up this object. Alright, now that that's done, we can go to our component editor and to double check to make sure that all of those are going to that chest plate, which we see that there's at least one that isn't. We select the topmost text field, okay, under chest, scroll down, shift select the last, and press 1, and then hit enter. So now all of those vertices have a full weighting of 1 to the chest, as we can see now. Okay, so to close this out and move this around, shouldn't really notice too much because most of them appear to already have that weighting, but definitely there was at least one that changed, as we saw. So that's the task that we're going to do for the chest plate. That brings us to the next chest plate object. Can hit F8. This one might be a little bit trickier to select. We may need to go to wireframe and just grab a few of its points here, at least just one. Okay, talking about this plate with the indentions in it. But now we can stay in wireframe mode and grow its selection. Again, it should be this triangle shape. But with that now selected, we can go back to the component editor and notice, alright, it does need several of its points tied to the chest. So we'll select the topmost, go down, shift select the bottommost, and press 1. So now all of those are added. And you can see how time saving this really is. I'll go to the next side. Okay, select just one of its vertices. And with those selected, we can go back to the component editor and add a full weighting to the chest. Alright, and there's really not going to be any need to add any fall off here. The reason why is because these objects are supposed to be rigid. Okay, so we do again want to be mindful of those certain objects, just going through and making sure that they are as they need to be. Alright, so now that brings us to this outer object here for the chest. Again, it should not deform at all. And even if it did, again, we're just going through and blocking out our weights. So we'll make sure we have everything selected. Go to the component editor again and apply them all to the chest. Alrighty, so now that that has been done, if we were to select our chest control, now the weights are just fine here. Moving just as they need to be. You could even check the back. There are few areas we want to address in the back, but nothing too bad. So with the chest really done here, we can bring our attention to the shoulder pads. So we'll start with this base object for the shoulder before we get to, actually, rather than doing that, being that we're going to tie all of these objects, the blades as well as this pad, to our shoulder bone, what we'll do is just grab a few from each object. Okay, we can go to wireframe just to make sure that those have been selected. We could use grow selection on these, okay, because again they're just going to one bone, so make sure that everything has been selected. go to the component editor, and we want to make sure we go to the left shoulder. Okay, so we'll find the left shoulder. And once it has been found, we'll unlock it now. And then simply add our weights. So we'll just add a full weighting to the shoulder pad. And watch this. Now that that's done, if we were to go to the control object, and we'll need to go back to object mode, and move the control object, notice we're able to control the rotation of the shoulder pad. Alright, very nice. Great. Well, so now that that has been done, we can bring our attention to the right shoulder pad. And once we're done with this, we'll stop the lesson so we can look at another area that we want to adjust. So, going to this, we simply again select just a few points from each object that makes up the shoulder pad, or each vertice. Hold Shift, hit the greater than sign so that we can grab all of those points, go to the component editor, and this time we're looking for the right shoulder pad. There it is. We'll unlock it. Unlocking it isn't necessary to add weights to it, but if you ever wanted to remove weighting or do things of that nature to your bind, it would help to first unlock the influence object. Alrighty. So we can now go ahead and look at our right shoulder pad and notice, alright, it's moving just like we'd like it to. So those are some techniques for editing the binds of more rigid objects. Okay, just apply a full weighting to whatever bone they need to go to. Our next focus is going to be to work on the hip area. Yes, it doesn't look too well at all, but we're going to see how we can actually fix this up very, very quickly. So that finishes this lesson, and then the next lesson we'll bring our attention to the hip.